Today, I want to talk to you guys about some of the stuff going on with the stock market and also student loans. There is a big change happening right now when it comes to student loans, and I want to make sure you guys are ready. So get comfortable, buckle up a seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I am your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about Black wealth and Black economics every single day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day under one condition. The condition is that we are Black first. Black first means that we put our community at the top of our priority list. Black first means that we educate our kids. Black first means that we break generational curses. We do not continue them. Black first means that we build strong families so that we can build wealth in our community because we're tired of being last in the wealth gap. So if you agree with this philosophy, if you don't, if you believe that Black people should be ahead of the curve, if you believe in educating our kids, if you believe in putting us at the top of the list, the top of our own priority list, put a hashtag B1 in the chat, hashtag B1. Also, give me a yes if you can hear me okay. Let me know if you can hear me all right. I'm always checking. I'm always a little bit concerned, when I hop in with the audio and everything, because we're testing out new equipment here with the podcast, and I just want to make sure that I deliver for you guys and give you something that's going to put money in your pocket and make your life better. So I want to say hello to Terry Cobb, Elijah Cox. Thank you, Elijah. Elijah, I appreciate you. I see you in there on a regular basis. So Elijah jumped right in. He said, we can hear you. So that's important because sometimes you can't hear me. I did a podcast this morning with my wife. It's called Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins, and she's a therapist, and we jumped in and we were talking for a good 2 minutes and nobody could hear us. So I appreciate y'all helping us with that. Also, shout out the city you're from. I see Terry Cobb's out of Atlanta, and I see Scheme Team says sound is good. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Leroy out of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. I love that. Okay, so as I move forward, I always have to do this. Those of you who watch the podcast regularly know I have to take 1 second and just let you guys know if you see any fake Boyce Watkins accounts on the internet, I guess because I have a lot of followers on different channels, over 1 million people, stuff like that. There are people out there that will scam you. There are people out there that pretend to be me. They use my pictures. They steal all of our content, and then they put it on the platform and make you think it's me. Then they inbox you and ask you for money and all that. If you see that, block them. Cuss them out for me and on my behalf, and then also report them so that nobody else gets hurt. Okay, so if you could do that for me, I'd appreciate it. All right, guys. So let's hop in. How many of you are aware? Let's start with student loans. How many of you? Give me a yes in the chat if you have student loans. Nobody's going to tell. I'm not going to, go blow your spot up or blow up your business. But how many of you are still dealing with student loans right now? Give me a yes in the chat if you are either dealing with student loans or if you paid them off. Then go ahead and throw that out there. D1, one of my favorite rappers of all time, my homeboy, my good buddy. He came to my wedding. He has a song called Sally Maybach, where he talked about paying Sally Maybach and how he got his first big record deal and got a big fat check, and he used it to pay Sally Maybach, and he did a whole song. It became very popular. And believe it or not, he actually had an endorsement deal with Sally Mae after that because the song did so well and it was seen everywhere. So if you have student loans, okay, I see paid them off. Somebody said paid them. Oh, Greg says military paid my school. Shout out to you. Shout out to the soldiers in the room. I know a lot of you are veterans, and I just have so much respect for soldiers. My father served in Vietnam, and I just think veterans and soldiers should be all paid $200,000 a year for life, because what you give to the country, I appreciate it so much. So anyway, all right. So student loans. Let me just jump to the issue. I'm opening up this article. As I open it up, please hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. It says here on CNBC that it's frustrating and stressful. 40 million people are in the dark about whether or not student loan payments will resume. They said 2 weeks before federal student loan payments are set to resume, the Biden administration hasn't even said whether or not there will be another extension. A spokesman for the Federal Student Loan Services says they haven't been given a chance to prepare. So they're not ready. And so here's what it says. It says they talk about a guy named Scott. They always start off with a story. They said it's been radio silence from the Biden administration. The most federal student loan payments have been on pause since March of 2020, when the pandemic began. Now, I don't know why they've kept it on pause this whole entire time, but I'm not going to complain about student loans being paused. I mean, I understand the stress of student loans. I get it. And so basically former President Donald Trump was a guy, I guess, that put that in place. Biden continued that. And they said earlier this month, White House press secretary Karen Jean-Pierre said Biden would make a decision on the student loan payment pause by the end of the month. The president also said he'd announced how he plans to move ahead, if at all, with student loan forgiveness before then. He's come out in support of canceling $10,000 for all borrowers, but is under intense pressure to deliver greater relief. Now, give me a yes or no. Give me a yes or no. How many of you will be satisfied if Biden forgave $10,000 worth of student loans? Would that just knock all your debt out? Would that just wipe it out? Does it cost $10,000 to go to college? What do y'all think? would 10 grand make a dent, or would that be just a bunch of crap? Let me see here. What's the average? Let me see. The average student loan debt in America right now is between it says the average is between $20,000 and $24,999 among borrowers with outstanding debt. That's the median. They said in 2020, bachelor's degree earners from public and private nonprofit four-year schools who graduated with student debt had an average of $28,400. So student loan debt amounts go up every year. And it affects our people pretty heavily because a lot of our people don't come from much wealth. And when you don't come from much wealth, it's kind of hard to pay for college by writing a check. And just to give you a little pointer on this, you guys know I've been a college professor a long time. I taught at University of Kentucky, Indiana University, etc., and Syracuse. I know a lot of students that I taught 20 years ago who have hit the age of 40 who are still buried in student loan debt. In fact, let me just go further than that. I know I have college students that I taught who are now 50 years old, actually, because I started teaching college students in 1993, and half my students were older than me at that time. I know students from back then who still haven't paid off their loans. And so what I'm just trying to say to you is when you send your kids to college, make sure you're thinking carefully about the trade-off between the college degree and the loans. I talk to my son all the time. He's 19 years old. He has a lot of skill. And I told him, I said, look, we're going to borrow a little bit to go to school, but we're not going to borrow too much, because really, if you really want to talk about making money, I could take you over here to a bunch of stuff that doesn't cost you a fraction of college and really show you how to make the money, right? College, it will prepare you to get a job, but you want to learn how to make money. You want to become a millionaire. You want to become economically independent. As a black man, you got to learn that off the grid. You do not learn that on the grid. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Give me a yes in the chat if you get what I'm saying, so that I know that I wasn't wasting my breath right there, because I really want you to understand that. So basically, here's what's going on. They're claiming that it's inevitable that the Biden administration is going to extend the deadline. That if they don't extend the deadline, what's going to happen is that the phone lines will be clogged to death with people calling about their student loans, trying to get deferments and repayment plans and everything else. So they're concerned. They're really worried. They're like, look, if we don't tell people something soon, then we're going to have to extend. Well, since they're not telling anybody anything, the expectation is that they're going to extend. Now, you should not obviously depend on that, but that's what I'm reading. That's what I'm picking up. That's what I'm hearing. And you guys know I've talked about Black wealth. We are, I think, the world leading experts on Black wealth in the Black Business School, because all we do is we talk about Black people and Black wealth all the time. And one of the things I can tell you is that student loan debt is literally one of the leading factors that has been destroying Black wealth. These are the things that they don't talk about on TV. These are the things that they don't talk about in the government, because they really don't care. These are the things that we talk about here, because as a financial scientist, I was like, okay, I was trying to dissect the anatomy of Black wealth and figure out what's going on with Black wealth. So if I was to break down the wealth gap and why Black people don't have the wealth that we deserve, why our wealth is falling behind white people, I would break it down to a few basic things. Number one, they spent 300, 400 years stealing your stuff. So giving your stuff back would be a big step in that process, because your hardworking ancestors wanted to leave you wealth. They wanted to leave you assets. Some of them tried to leave you land. That land was taken. All that needs to be dealt with. Number two, you've been trained to be a consumer. You've been trained to have horrible spending habits. So when they putting out the new Gucci belts and the new rapper chains, you're getting mass promoted this heavy consumption that hits most Americans. Black people get hit the worst. That's why they try to sell the most products to you, because bad consumption habits means that even if you get money, you're going to give that money away. Number three, you're not trained on a fundamental level on how money is made in America. Instead of teaching kids how to go get jobs and how to go spend on Gucci belts, we should be teaching them how to buy real estate, how to start businesses, how to own stocks and bonds. If that became a fundamental part of the educational process in every household, then the Black wealth gap would disappear very quickly, because you will become a net retainer of resources as opposed to somebody who just gives them all away. What else? Buying Black and supporting Black businesses would be massive, because your problem is that you are expecting expected to support their businesses. They're not expected to support yours. So ultimately, they're living off their income and they're living off your income. What's another thing? Another factor? I think that's pretty much mostly everything, but there's a few other things. Oh, I forgot about this. Skip! Broken families, y'all. Broken families is a huge factor in the black wealth problem. America is a country where people who are married and have stable families have more wealth. Surprise! I bet you didn't think that. I bet you thought that a struggling single mom working 3 jobs could do as well as a 2-parent household where you got 2 breadwinners in the house. I know, no disrespect to single moms or single dads. I know that that's a big part of our community. I get it. But at the end of the day, when we talk about family structure, we've really got to understand that that is a massive part of the wealth equation. So when they started sending all those black men to prison in the early 1990s, that took about $2 or $3 trillion out of the black community because your primary breadwinners, your major breadwinners, intelligent black men were being sent away. Their children weren't being raised to be economically intelligent all the time because they didn't have the guidance of the father and the mother. So it ended up just being like dropping a nuclear bomb in your community. There are other factors I could throw in there, but literally if you start with those 4 or 5 and you solve those 4 or 5 things, then what happens is that gap starts to shrink. And then you start to see another gap grow where black people actually are in the lead. I know y'all can't imagine that. I know you can't imagine black people ahead of white people. My Lord Jesus, white people are so wonderful, special, important, and perfect. But guess what? You actually can take the lead. You dominate in the things that you put your mind to. Serena Williams is the greatest tennis player in the history of all tennis players. Tiger Woods is the greatest golfer in the history of all mankind. There's a lot of other examples out there that we can find. So I believe that if we put our mind to it, and we drill deep enough and we focus hard enough and we stop listening to idiots, I think we can win this. Okay. Give me a yes in the chat if you get what I'm saying. Just give me a yes to confirm. I need that confirmation validation to know that I'm not just talking in the air. It helps me to know that it's making an impact. And I really don't want you to just hear me. I want you to really think about this. Write this down. Go apply this with your kids. Little baby steps. That's how you win. Okay. So anyway, thumbs up, share, subscribe. My website is boycewatkins.com. And just a reminder, every Wednesday night we do Powernomics training in the Black Business School. You guys know we have 150,000 students worldwide, and we have a free Powernomics training. We go through Dr. Claude Anderson's books page by page, paragraph by paragraph, word for word, because we want as many of our people to understand the basically the Powernomics book, which is really the Bible of Black economics. Dr. Claude Anderson is your living manifestation of a Marcus Garvey. We study his work every Wednesday night at 8:30, and we've been doing this for 2 years almost now, and I've probably done about 70 or 80 lectures in a row on Dr. Claude Anderson's work. So that is free to the community. You can go to blackkeystogreatness.com. Not only do you get access to the Powernomics training, but you also get access to my life class, which is a bunch of material I put together on how to be successful in everything that you want to do. So feel free to join us tonight. We meet tonight at 8:30. Every Wednesday night at 8:30. We're doing this and we're going to keep doing it until it's done. Okay, a couple other things that are going on in the world right now. Just a couple little tidbit notes that you may want to know about what's going on with financial markets. Number one, the meme stock frenzy. A lot of these meme stocks are starting to take off. The biggest meme stock right now has been Bed Bath & Beyond. You've seen AMC kind of take off. You've seen GameStop kind of go crazy. A lot of that is an indicator that stocks may actually be hitting their peak. There's this term that Alan Greenspan, the former chairman of the Federal Reserve, used to use called irrational exuberance. Irrational exuberance. So let me explain it by breaking down each word. Irrational means crazy. It means not rational. Like, right? Exuberance means excited, like, yeah, we winning, y'all, we winning, right? So basically, Alan Greenspan said that the market can go through these periods where the market gets very emotional, and so emotions and money are very much linked. That's why I'm really blessed to have a wife who is an expert on emotions, and actually she's a certified clinical trauma professional in addition to a licensed therapist and a full professor of social work. So we talk a lot about the emotions behind economic choices. And so when you have irrational exuberance and everyone's feeling good and the money's flowing, then what you tend to see is these meme stocks really taking off. But that's also a sign that you could be hitting another peak. You could be hitting like a roaring 20s situation where there's a market correction around the corner. So if you are invested consistently, I just want to warn you that the stock prices could actually be dropping in the near future because you've had a really good last 4 weeks. The last 4 weeks have been absolutely stunning. And I really think long-term, if you're a long-term investor, this is great for you. If you've been investing consistently, like we've been talking about, then you're probably pretty happy right now. But just know that the winter is probably coming. There's probably going to be an economic storm. So I just want you to be ready for that. But I don't think the storm will last for too long. I think the market overall long-term is going to be just fine. So the other thing I wanted to mention was I saw something else here. I was just sort of going through the news. Oh, there's an interesting thing that happened with Coinbase. Apparently, Coinbase stopped trading Ethereum, and it's not because Ethereum is toxic or anything like that. I think it's because there's something. Well, I know it's because the Ethereum is going through a major change. They're actually switching from proof of stake to proof of work, or is it proof of work to proof of stake. That's basically the method they use to validate transactions on the Ethereum network. That's being shifted over. That's massive. It's huge. If it works, it's great. If it doesn't work, it could be really disastrous. So Coinbase pretty much said, yo, we're backing out. We don't want to mess with Ethereum right now. So right now, from what I understand, you can't trade your Ethereum on the Coinbase network. That caused the stock price to drop by about 5.5%. What am I going to do? Well, guess what? Tomorrow morning, I'm going to go buy me some more Coinbase stock because I believe that the stock is going to recover. So I'm not telling you to go buy Coinbase stock. I'm just telling you that I think Coinbase stock is actually a pretty good buy with this 5% dip. I'm about to go out here and I believe this will make me some money, but keep my fingers crossed because sometimes we can be wrong. Okay, guys. So one more thing I want to mention to you is if you ever want to sponsor the podcast, you guys know I do my Dr. Boy shout outs. If you want me to shout out your brand or your platform or anything else on this platform, on this space, we reach 1 million people a week. So feel free to go to drboycefinance.com and you can purchase a shout out and I will shout out your business. I will send people your way and help you get your platform going, your YouTube channel or your brand or whatever it is that you like for me to share with the audience. And also last night, you guys know that we did that event, basically how to become a millionaire in 5 minutes a month. That was a lot of fun. A lot of you showed up, about 1,000, over 1,200 of you registered for the event. And the lecture was free to all the students in the Black Business School, which, by the way, you can get started in the Black Business School for nothing. It doesn't cost you anything to get started. And if you want to take advantage of the offer that's available there, it'll be available for another 24 hours at blackmoneysequence.com. So feel free to go take a look at blackmoneysequence.com and see if you'd like to join. It's totally up to you. We will take good care of you. And there's a money back guarantee on everything that we do in the Black Business School. So anyway, I hope you guys got something from this conversation. I hope this benefited you. Be careful if you got the student loan thing happening because they are going to make some adjustments at some point. At some point, they're going to come back and try to get that money. But it's almost to the point where student loans have gotten so high and so crazy and so ridiculous that they almost don't take the debt seriously. Like a lot of people, when you're trying to buy a house, a lot of the mortgage lenders, they look at student loans and kind of give a wink and a nod like, okay, that's not really real debt. That's not as bad as credit card debt or other kinds of debt. It's kind of like this big hoax that everybody sort of fell into. And I'm hoping at some point they fix this, but I don't really think they ever will. But I would just say be mindful and be careful as you move forward and you send your kids to college. Don't have them buried in so much debt that they can never ever get out of that, because then you're actually undermining the whole reason that they're going to get an education in the first place. Part of the reason they're going to get an education is because they want to move their family forward. And if you die in debt, then you lost the game. So I don't want you to lose. I want you to win. I want you to be successful. So you got to watch out for the little traps that they set for you in a capitalist society. Capitalism is not your friend. It's not evil. I don't believe capitalism is always evil either. I don't believe that. But it's not something that necessarily cares much about you, to be honest with you. So you've got to care about yourself enough to know where you want to place yourself and when you want to place your kids. So you have to educate your family on all these things so they don't get screwed. Okay. All right. So give me a yes in the chat. Give me a quick yes to let me know that you heard this and that you received this, and maybe give me a verbal yes if you can share this video. I'd really appreciate it. If you all, these big corporations have distribution channels. I don't have any corporate backing. I don't have Revolt TV behind me and all these other networks backing me up. It's just me and my team trying to get it done, trying to be as independent as possible. No corporate sponsorship, none of that. So we need your help on this. So if you could just agree, give me a yes that you could take this video, put it on your social media and share it with others, or take some idea that you gained from this conversation and share it with others. I would really appreciate that, because I believe that working together, there's nothing we can't do. We don't need that man to do nothing for us. We got this. We got this. We are the smartest. We are the best. We are the brightest. We are meant to win. So go out here and be intelligent, be strong, and be black. And I'll see you guys real soon. I'll probably check back in with you sometime tonight. Take care. Have a good night. I love you. I'll see you soon. Peace.